God Save the King in a football stadium on Wednesday. The original words were performed, I think, for the first time publicly in the UK by opera singer Laura Wright at the Oval last Saturday. She will sing them again here tonight. We'd better get used to them. The national anthem will be sung before all of the weekend's Premier League fixtures following a minute's silence.
Of Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. We recognise her immense contribution to the nation, life of dedication and remarkable service. Please now join us to observe a minute's silence in her memory, which will be followed by the singing of the national anthem, led by Laura Wright.
I think some of the noises that you could hear were just the supporting. Like no other in my lifetime, and as that week comes to an end, English club football pays its respects to the life of a leader like no other. Prince William has been seen here at Villa Park many times, a not so neutral president of the FA, and his curious connection with his club dating back to an FA Cup semi-final he saw at Wembley as a 17-year-old, a particularly poor semi-final. I commentated on it for television. It was a shocker. 2 goalless hours followed by a penalty shootout that Villa won, and won the heart of the now Prince of Wales. Football's like that, isn't it, Lucy? We pick up our clubs and our teams in the most unusual way.
Yeah, we certainly do, and that was really, really powerful, wasn't it? The singing of the national anthem by this Villa crowd.
Well, I'm probably older than the rest of our team here put together, and I've never known anything other than Queen Elizabeth as our head of state. And I can only remember her, I will only remember her as we've all known her in recent times, all feel as if we've known her anyway. But that part of the ceremony for the evening certainly is over. And the Southampton players in white shirts, black shorts and white socks this evening are in a huddle prior to kick-off. White shirts with the Southampton red thick stripe down the front. Aston Villa in their usual claret and blue shirts, white shorts and pale blue socks will defend the Holt end of Villa Park in this first half. So Villa kicking from right to left as we look at it from our position in the main stand here. The return of Premier League football. Two teams that have been kicking their heels more than most during the period of respect. Both finished last season out of sorts. Neither has started this season especially well. If there is a loser at Villa Park this evening, that club will not enjoy the international break one bit. There is a lot at stake even at this early stage of the season. Southampton have an early throw in which Walker-Peters takes and Ward-Prowse tries to hook forward. Villa clear their lines. Kamara helped on by Watkins. Coutinho just unable to feed off him, but McGinn in with two very strong challenges, wins the ball with purpose and then left his foot in as Walker-Peters tried to clear, and a very revved up John McGinn from the outset.
Yeah, I think he's had a little bit of criticism from the Villa fans in recent games, and talking about his place in the team, but he's so important. He's a leader, obviously captain this season, and in terms of delivering to the box, he's important for this Villa side.
He's actually been substituted in the last 4 games, and Stephen Gerrard in his prep briefing yesterday just speculated that maybe he was trying a little too hard to impress since taking over the captain's armband from Tyrone Mings during the summer. Southampton in possession and playing the ball all the way back to their young goalkeeper Gavin Bazunu. There has been a goal at Boreham Wood in the WSL. Let's hear about it from Ian Abrams.
30 minutes gone, Arsenal 1, Brighton 0. Kim Little, the captain, with the goal, firing home from about 8 yards out. Brighton down to 10 players, of course. Arsenal 1, Brighton 0.
That game is a 7:30 kick-off. The 2 Premier League games being played this evening are 8 o'clock kick-offs. Nottingham Forest versus Fulham is live as we speak on TalkSport 2. And here on TalkSport, the first of 5 live Premier League commentaries this weekend across our stations is Aston Villa versus Southampton. Aston Villa's goalkeeper, who gave them a scare yesterday, reported ill, Emi Martinez, but fit to play, rolls it out to Konsa, forward by Ashley Young, stepping in for the injured Matty Cash tonight at right back. Headed up towards the halfway line, where it's turned out of play by the Southampton left back, Romain Perraud. Lucy was speculating as to exactly how Southampton might line up, and Moussa Djenepo's actually started on the right hand side for them.
Elyounoussi is just in behind Che Adams. Sometimes they play that 4-2-2-2, don't they? But I think it's a 4-2-3-1. And looking at Villa, I think it's Coutinho and Bailey just behind Watkins. It's 2 10s.
Coutinho on the ball for Aston Villa, exchanging passes with John McGinn and going to ground under pressure from Djenepo. Referee very well placed, saw nothing untoward and way play on. Tony Harrington is the man in charge out in the middle this evening. Paul Tierney is the voice in his ear at Stockley Park. Ball given away by Diallo and seized upon by Ashley Young, who guides it back to Emi Martinez. Both he and Villa's number 2 goalkeeper Robin Olsen missed training yesterday. Olsen is nursing a knee problem at the moment, but both are on the team sheet this evening. Martinez in goal. Behind that back 4 of Young, Konsa, Mings and Dean, and then from right to left in midfield, Ramsey, Kamara and McGinn, with Bailey and Coutinho feeding off Ollie Watkins, the main striker. Southampton, one change from the team that lost at Molineux 2 weeks ago. That is the inclusion of Moussa Djenepo ahead of Joe Aribo has dropped to the bench. So Bazunu in goal, Walker-Peters, Bella-Kotchap, Salisu and Perraud, and then Ward-Prowse and Diallo at the heart of their midfield. Djenepo from the right, Elyounoussi at 10, Adam Armstrong on the left, and Shea Adams leading the line. They are the lineups. We've had 4 minutes at Villa Park. It's goalless. McGinn's won another big challenge for Aston Villa inside the Southampton half, and Dean is raiding down the left-hand side and almost managed to elude Bella-Kotchap. A rather sprawling challenge, and despite the appeals, the referee points for a goal kick. But certainly John McGinn has made a very eye-catching start to the game.
Yeah, he's won the ball a couple of times down the left-hand side for Villa, quite high up the pitch. Kyle Walker-Peters been caught a couple of times, and Southampton usually start quite high tempo, but obviously Villa being at home, you would expect them to have it. Not really any chances so far, both teams just figuring each other out.
new central defensive partnership for Southampton. Bella Kotchap finding Salisu, who goes forward and long with his favoured left foot, but too long, and that bounces tamely through to Emi Martinez. 17th versus 12th, 3 points between them. Two of the three sides still to keep a clean sheet in the Premier League this season. Villa beaten 4 times already, Southampton 3. Two teams in real need of some momentum as they approach that international fortnight when many of their numbers will disappear. Villa have a throw in about 25 metres from the corner flag down the right flank that they're attacking, which Ashley Young will take. Watkins makes himself available just outside the box, played back towards Young. A testing cross which Bella Kotchap manages to force away down the field, headed on by Adams, but it's a header on that he'll have to chase himself. Mings tosses it forward, but that is overhit, and that bounces through to Gavin Bazunu, not 21 till February, the youngest goalkeeper ever to start a Premier League season as a number one choice. De Gea, Schmeichel, Meslier were all installed as a number one choice by their clubs before the age of 21. But Bazunu is the youngest. Quite a responsibility for the young Irishman. Armstrong on the halfway line for Southampton, left-hand touch line, tries to switch the play diagonally towards Gineppo, but it's cut out by Dean. Coutinho instantly forward, and it's a fabulous ball, seized upon on that right-hand side by Leon Bailey. 10 yards outside the penalty area, goes for goal himself, and it's a disappointing end to what was a very promising Aston Villa counter-attack, Lucy Ward.
Yeah, we know that Southampton like to get bodies forward. The only problem is they leave the defence quite exposed, and as Villa cleared it, it landed at the feet of Coutinho, and this is where he is so important, getting the ball up the pitch quickly. And it's just a waste really from Bailey, because they got the bodies up there. They just needed something better. I've noticed a couple of times where I've watched Villa that they do cross the ball into the box and don't really get the bodies into the box either, so it's a waste of working the ball in front of goal.
Talk Sport, 7 minutes gone at Villa Park. It's Aston Villa 0, Southampton 0. Adam Armstrong has the ball for Southampton. Played back to Mohamed Salisu, midway inside his own half. Armel Bella Kotchap, who's taken the place really of Jan Bednarek, who's now joined Aston Villa on loan. He's not eligible for tonight's game, playing against his parent club. Salisu up as far as the halfway line, plays it low into the edge of the penalty area via Perro towards Armstrong, but Young is there to tidy up, and the longer clearance down the field by Martinez. One in the air by Salisu. Diallo is on the ball for Southampton just inside his own half. Bella Kotchap now to Walker-Peters, halfway line, out to Gineppo on the right-hand side. Both teams feeling their way into the match. I think it'd be fair to say that Southampton fans have seen more to encourage them in the opening weeks of the season. The victory over Chelsea a couple of weeks back was a really stirring one, an indication of what they can do.
Yeah, they had a dodgy start, didn't they, against Spurs, and then 2-0 down against Leeds. He'd actually changed it to 3 at the back, Ralph Hasenhüttl, and he'd been accused of being quite stubborn with his 4-2-2-2, but he resorted back to a similar sort of thing when he was 2-0 down against Leeds and came back. But it's interesting watching Villa tonight and how they set up going forward. It's like a box, the two central midfielders and the two in front of them, and then Ollie Watkins. But the Southampton are coping with them so far.
Alianusi trying to lay claim to the ball on the halfway line. Ward-Prowse goes forward to Gineppo, forced back though by a very eager Luca Dean. Does well to elude him forward towards Walker-Peters, and McGinn is guilty of another foul. Saints were a little unlucky to lose to Manchester United and Wolves either side of that win over Chelsea. They had a summer of comings and goings. They now have the youngest team in the Premier League. They maybe needed a reset, a refresh, and I think the fans are on board with what they've seen so far. Certainly the initial impact made by the likes of Bella Kotchap and Lavia, who's unfortunately for him unavailable through injury at the moment. And they had this free kick midway through the Villa half, just in from the right-hand touchline, for which the central defenders have gone forward. Ward-Prowse inevitably is the man who will deliver the ball, just raises a left arm before swinging it in with his right foot, but he doesn't manage to beat Ashley Young, who's the first defender in the long line of players there to try to clear the ball. Diallo lays claim to it again. Ward-Prowse in towards the edge of the penalty area. Mings with the header away. One back on the edge of the penalty area by Perrault. Held up well by Adams. Manages to protect the ball first from Kamara and then from McGinn. And feed it to Walker-Peters just outside the Aston Villa penalty area. Played in and headed away this time by Jacob Ramsey. Clearance is a rather anxious one by Ashley Young. And Bailey can't keep it in. And Southampton will now have a throw in an attacking position about 10 paces from the corner flag on the right hand side. And Southampton are one of the few Premier League teams that still employ a long throw expert. He is Mohamed Salisu. I can't understand, there's almost a bit of snobbery I think that others don't, because if you have a man who can deliver it long and flat, it is quite a ploy. Here comes Salisu. It's a loopy one which rather flopped out of his hands. It's headed away by Aston Villa and eventually cleared downfield by Philippe Coutinho. Watched rather anxiously by Salisu, who managed to wrestle possession back and feeds Gineppo, and a nice little sidestep takes him away from Dean momentarily. And Gineppo's cross is dangerous and it has to be dealt with by Ezri Konsa, and it's dealt with very, very well indeed. It hasn't gone out of play. Yes, now it has. In fact, it has gone out for a corner. It looped out of play. I wonder for a moment if Gineppo had been flagged for offside, but it is a Southampton corner and a little knot of Southampton pressure building with just over 11 minutes played. Goalless at Villa Park. Southampton attacking the Holt end with a corner kick from Ward-Prowse from the right-hand side, guided in towards the near post and actually headed just wide of the goal by Mohamed El Yunusi, who was first in the queue for the ball, but Martinez was able to see it drift behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, they're building some pressure now, Southampton. So when he gets hold of the ball, centre-back, he would just release Gineppo, but I look at Shea Adams and he will occupy both centre-backs. They won't be in for an easy night, Mings or Konsa, because he's physical, he gets his body in the way and he doesn't half work hard off the ball.
Mings with a long ball forward towards Watkins, who does well to win it in the air, but it's tidied up by Ward-Prowse. His neat little header finds Walker-Peters up towards Adams again on the halfway line. Mings is strong enough on this occasion. Kamara calmly square to Dean. You're listening to Aston Villa 0, Southampton 0 on Talk Sport with Now Sports. With Now Sports, you can stream all the Sky Sports action, including this game, live right now for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports. You haven't missed much so far. McGinn back to Mings, and a little sigh of frustration with 12 and a half minutes on the clock.
Yeah, a little bit of a rumble there, but from the Villa fans, they want to see their team being a lot more positive.
A goal in our live commentary match over on Talk Sport 2. It's Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 0. Goal by Taiwo Awoniyi early in that game for Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 0 is live at this moment on Talk Sport 2. Here on Talk Sport with goals between Aston Villa and Southampton. Southampton winning the ball again. Perrault's attempted clearance downfield is charged down by Jacob Ramsey, and Southampton have a throw in midway inside their own half of the field.
They've got quite a good balance, Southampton. They did used to just go for it, everybody forward, but a little bit more settled. The back four coming from behind, and also Diallo will just sit in front of the two centre-backs, just allow Ward-Prowse to get a bit further forward, and a bit of traditional wing play by Gineppo down the right-hand side as well, knocking it past Luca Dean and getting forward and getting a cross in.
Villa fans are restless. The Steven Gerrard era is 10 months old. They've seen his team beaten 7 times here in that time. They've seen him puzzling over the best way to harness the considerable attacking options at his disposal. They've averaged only a point a game since last Christmas and haven't carried nearly enough goal threat so far this season. And it's been a rather cautious start from Villa so far. Let's get an update on that Super League semi-final between Wigan Warriors and Leeds Rhinos with Mark Wilson.
Perfect timing, Clive. Wigan 4, Leeds 0. We're just awaiting official confirmation from the video referee. It came after Wigan charged down the Leeds kick. Liam Marshall, the man who got the winning try in the cup final, looks like he's put Wigan in front. Flying finish in the corner. It's going to be Wigan 4, Leeds 0.
Old Trafford beckoning next weekend. Adams in possession for Southampton, coming forward and finding Walker-Peters just outside the penalty area, clipped across the penalty area where Konsa has to head clear. Back in there by Perraud, this time Dean with the headed clearance for Aston Villa. It's not convincing. Back in by Diallo this time, and Mings has to head away. Only as far as Ward-Prowse, and now McGinn tries to lay claim to the ball for Villa, but it's not sticking with them. Coutinho has lost it, and Walker-Peters is coming forward. Midway through the Aston Villa half of the field. Now inside the penalty area. Dean with a very brave and very well-timed challenge. It was a risky one, managed to win it, but it's seized upon in turn by Bella Kotchap, and eventually a breakdown in communication. Gifts a throw-in to Aston Villa. But the draw with Manchester City last time out, fortnight ago, was hard-earned, well-earned, and after 3 straight defeats felt like some kind of a starting point for their season, but they haven't started well tonight.
No, they're lacking in intensity, I would say.
Long ball forward by McGinn, which is picked off by Bazunu, not accurate enough. They have gone long on more than one occasion tonight already.
They've not really kept the ball. When they pass the ball forward, it's not really stuck in the final third, and that's what the Villa fans are getting annoyed about, because Southampton are winning it back and then starting their own attacks.
Coutinho has just won the ball back for Aston Villa. Forward goes Ramsey. Now Bailey, just on the edge of the Southampton penalty area, cuts onto his left foot, plays it square, cleared by Ward-Prowse. That was dangerous. Young now for Villa, keeping the attack alive, finding Bailey again, right-hand side, all left foot, trying to turn it back onto his favoured left foot, but looks for a free kick after what was nothing more than flimsy obstruction. And the referee shakes his head, and Southampton cleared their lines, and it's back with Emi Martinez at the wrong end of the field as far as Villa are concerned. 0-0 at Villa Park.
Yeah, you look at Ramsey, and he plays in one of the three, and when they've played the best Villa, he's gone up and beyond. It's so difficult to mark, and he sort of got himself up there then, but they're a little bit tentative, I would say, probably a bit nervous about playing in front of the crowd, because that was a great result, but because he's changed the team, then that's they've got to win then.
Ramsey's coming forward now down the right-hand side. Play with great energy and drive in the victory over Everton here last month. Jacob Ramsey, Steven Gerrard shown faith with him from the very start of his tenure. 21-year-old, locally born, and he is certainly the future, but Aston Villa needs something from the present. Rather strange ball by Bailey, completely miscued, and Gineppo seizes upon it midway through his own half of the field. Walker-Peters clears. It's Aston Villa 0, Southampton 0. Rather tentative start by the home side. Luca Dean will take a throw-in for them. It's about 20 metres inside the Southampton half of the field. He finds Ramsey, comes back out to Dean, back to Kamara, fed forward, instant control and turn by Coutinho, now accelerating and finding Watkins. Bailey inside the Southampton penalty area with a shooting opportunity, which he didn't really take with any conviction. As he tried to charge down Perraud's clearance, it went out of play. But the build-up initially there from Coutinho and Watkins was excellent.
Yeah, it's better by Villa, but the problem they've got, once they get into the box, Southampton just cover them with players. They will make sure that they throw bodies in the way, and Bailey ended up just running down a blind alley really there, but that's more positive for the Villa fans to see.
And strangely, one of the problems they do have is that when somebody like Bailey runs down a blind alley, then Ings and Buendia are sitting on the bench. It's not as if they don't have good attacking options. It's getting the right combination and the right players in form. Yeah. Salisu going long.
Yeah, they're also a little bit narrow, Villa, as well, and it's congested in there because Southampton are quite happy to load those central areas. So when the players look up, the width is the place where it's space, but obviously the type of formation that Gerrard plays with this Villa team, the 210s, Bailey and Coutinho, they don't hug the touchlines. They don't tend to do that.
And the width is provided really by the fullbacks, and Matty Cash is probably better able to do that than his deputy tonight, Ashley Young. Let's get a half-time report on that WSL game between Arsenal and Brighton from Ian Abrahams.
Arsenal 1, Brighton 0. The only goal on 28 minutes scored by the skipper Kim Little after good work by Caitlin Ford for Arsenal. Brighton have played all bar 6 minutes with only 10 players after Emma Kuhlberg was sent off for clipping the feet of Blackstenius as she was bearing down on goal. Half-time, Arsenal 1, Brighton 0.
In our live commentary game on TalkSport 2, it's Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 0. In the commentary game that we have for you here on TalkSport this evening, it's Aston Villa 0, Southampton 0, but Adam Armstrong, with a purposeful run down the left-hand side, has won a corner kick for Southampton. It's Ward-Prowse who will swing it in from that left-hand corner. Very crowded 6-yard box. Ward-Prowse in towards the near post where Mings gets up and heads away very well indeed. It's crossed back in again by Ward-Prowse. Mings is in the way yet again, and this time Villa can get out, and McGinn can find Young on the right-hand side. He has to come back to Kamara as Aston Villa regain their shape. Spreads it out to the left-hand side, but a little behind Dean, and he has to check to gather it. Coutinho picks the ball up, but inside his own half. And Villa again just settle things down and take some of the tempo out of the game. Mings with a very good diagonal out to Young on the right-hand touchline. Now inside the Southampton half. Good forward run by Watkins. Well marshalled though by Romain Perrault, and Watkins barges him to the ground, and Southampton have a relieving free kick level with the edge of their penalty area.
Yeah, Villa look lacking in confidence, which means that they're playing safe, they're taking an extra touch, and they're not really putting the ball at risk, which plays into Southampton's hands. And to be fair, Southampton are growing into the game. All I would say is look a little bit fragile in midfield, losses of possession. So Villa have got that they can counter on, but just lacking in confidence in front of this big home crowd.
You're listening to Aston Villa 0, Southampton 0 on TalkSport with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Aston Villa coming forward from a free kick from the edge of their own penalty area. Ramsey out to Bailey, who will now run at Perrault down the Aston Villa right, cut in on his left foot, cross into the box, away by Salisu. The cross wasn't the best in truth. Comes out to Young though, fed in towards Ramsey. It was a good idea, it gets the thumbs up, but the pass was slightly over here. It was very straight, and Ramsey couldn't bring it under his spell, and it runs to Gavin Bazunu.
Yeah, they're crossing the ball into the box, and there's not enough in the box, and those who are not attacking it, and so he's just thinking of they've got clever players out there on the pitch, so how can they work the ball? Cutbacks are better with these players that they've got. Can they get in behind this Southampton defence?
Bella Kotchap has been caught in position. Little over from Coutinho, dummy trying to feed Watkins, but he didn't quite read it, and Southampton get the ball back with Walker-Peters. Clipped up to Shea Adams, tries to chest it down. A barging challenge by Ramsey on El Yunusi. Concedes a rather cheap free kick to Southampton, about 10 paces inside the Aston Villa half of the field. You feel that there's a hunger and an appetite from the Villa players out of possession, where they want to make big challenges and almost show how much they care and how much they want to improve things, but some of it has been a little misguided and a little ill-disciplined so far, and they're giving away free kicks as a result. Diallo forward to El Yunusi, back to Salisu. Ward-Prowse is keeping the ball calmly. Bella Kotchap won't think twice about going back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, Bazunu comes right out of his box, joins in with the centre-backs and overloads that area, but it's just hit it long there. But that's how Southampton work, that's how they build up play. The goalkeeper comes right out in between, rather than a centre midfielder drop in, the goalkeeper actually joins as a three. It's quite risky, but Hassan Hootel, that's the way he likes to play and build up play.
Aston Villa playing out this time with Martinez going short to Concert. Ramsey back to Kamara. Mings taking over midway inside his own half. Dean on the touchline, down the touchline to Coutinho, gets it back. Dean couldn't quite gather it in his stride. Bella Kotchap's clearance is charged down by Dean. He wins it in the air though and forces it forward to Ward-Prowse, who's back on the ball for Southampton. Bella Kotchap going back to his goalkeeper, and Bazunu this time slices his clearance. It goes high in the air and doesn't clear the halfway line. Armstrong takes the weight off it but knocks it down only to McGinn. Coutinho in a very tight spot is bowled to the ground by Walker-Peters. No free kick. Coutinho tries to win it back, and then McGinn tries to win it back, and Walker-Peters awards himself a free kick, and the referee disagrees with the decision. That's not going to VAR. He's giving handball against Walker-Peters, who decided he'd been fouled and pretty much picked it up.
Yeah. It's quite a good one, that. But I just look at these Villa players, Clive, and they need to be braver, and by that I mean show for the ball. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake, the crowd will groan, but you've just got to get back on it, because you've got to forget about the crowd, you've got to forget their reaction and just try and raise the confidence of the team. They need some leaders out there.
Easier said than done. Free kick to Aston Villa, about 10 metres inside the Southampton half of the field. It's 0-0 at Villa Park. Luca Dean takes it, squirts it high to the edge of the penalty area, away by Adams. There's a flag up. I think the ball maybe glanced off a Villa head. It looked to me as if it came off Shea Adams defending and fell to Ashley Young, but the assistant on the far side raised his flag very quickly, and so Southampton have a free kick just outside their own penalty area. We're getting a little close up on our small monitor here of Steven Gerrard deep in conversation with his right-hand man Gary McAllister, and it looks a very anxious, animated conversation. Things are not going well for Villa as yet. Aston Villa 0, Southampton 0. El Yunusi breaking in to the Villa penalty area, plays it square, and a really good clearance by Concert. It's gone out of play for Southampton throw-in, which Romain Perraud will take. He's going to motion Salisu forward, so it is actually going to be a long throw-in into the penalty area, and that is the signal for Armel Bella-Kotchap to take up station on the edge of the Aston Villa 6-yard box. Salisu drying the ball on his shirt because it rather slipped out of his hands the last time he tried to deliver. He's just in discussions with the referee as to the exact point on the touchline where he can propel the ball into the penalty area. It's a better one, flicked on by Adams, cleared as far as a missed kick hit by Ward-Prowse from the edge of the penalty area. Diallo keeping it alive, high into the box and far too long. So, Aston Villa 0, Southampton 0. The latest odds on this match are available from Ladbrokes at the moment. You can get an Aston Villa win at 6-5. You can back Southampton to win at 5-2, or back the draw at 2-1. Those odds from Ladbrokes. Play at ladbrokes.com. You must be 18 or over, and do be aware of begambleaware.org, a website that offers help and guidance that will assist you in managing and enjoying your gambling. Aston Villa 0, Southampton 0. Lucy Ward is alongside me.
Yeah, I think when you talk about a game that needs a goal, I think this is a perfect example of that. I think Southampton are quite happy for the tempo to be quite low when they've got the ball in their own half. Villa, it's up to them as the home team to get this game going, to raise the intensity, to move the ball quicker and move themselves quicker, and just try to take the initiative.
Throw in which Ashley Young takes from midway inside his own half, headed on hopefully by Ollie Watkins. There've been a few of those so far. He's just managed to win an aerial duel, but not really with any significance. But it falls for Dean, and he feeds it out to Coutinho, now running midway through the Southampton half, teasing Ward-Prowse, playing it back to Dean. Now McGinn taking over, a purposeful burst forward from him. He rather lost possession of the ball and then slid in to win it back, but it came off Adam Armstrong, and Aston Villa do have a throw in 25 metres from the corner flag that they're attacking down their left hand side. It's now 20 because Dean is creeping forward before throwing the ball to McGinn. Back out to Dean on the touchline, crossed into the box, again not the best of crosses, headed away by Diallo. Young though for Aston Villa. Bailey trying to attack down the Villa right hand side. Perraud, in making a challenge, hurt himself, but Gineppo emerges with the ball and the referee plays an advantage. Gineppo's up as far as the halfway line, held up now by Ramsey, and Diallo comes out to Walker-Peters just on the halfway line, and there's still some concern here for Romain Perraud, who's been down for about 20 seconds holding his right ankle. He went in to make a challenge himself and got caught.
Yeah, and he looked in some pain as well. Yeah, he got stood on, didn't he, by Bailey. Bailey went out to try and challenge with the ball, and Perraud got in there first, and the challenge from Bailey was right down his ankle.
Yeah,
be interested to see what the referee VAR do about it. Obviously he had no idea that Perraud was coming in, so he wasn't trying to do him, but that obviously doesn't matter.
He was trying to protect the ball from Perraud's challenge, but it was a very clumsy piece of protection, and his foot did go beyond the ball, and so Perraud, making a legal low challenge, caught one above the ankle. It was a pretty ugly challenge in slow motion, but given the circumstances and the lack of any kind of intent on Leon Bailey's behalf, I would imagine that VAR will give him the benefit of the doubt. We've had no indication that that incident is being reviewed for more than a moment or two. The players all taking an opportunity to take on some fluids during this break. One of 5 Premier League commentary games exclusive to TalkSport this weekend. Tomorrow we're with the champions Manchester City at Molineux. Join Reshman in Wolverhampton at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then on Sunday, TalkSport has exclusive live commentary of the leaders Arsenal in action at Brentford. That game kicks off at noon on Sunday. Next week is an international week. TalkSport is live with Wales in Belgium on Thursday evening, and with England in Italy on Friday evening. Perrault is only just being lifted to his feet. It was a painful one, but it was an impact injury, and I think the early signs are that he will be able to hobble on. Looking forward to next weekend. TalkSport brings you exclusive radio commentary of Joe Joyce's heavyweight showdown with Joseph Parker for the WBO interim title. That's live from Manchester Arena next Saturday night. Coverage begins at 8 p.m, so join our big fight team next Saturday night. Half an hour gone at Villa Park on TalkSport. Aston Villa 0, Southampton 0. Lucy Ward.
Yeah, the game is low intensity. I think it's both teams have not really done enough in front of goal. Obviously, as the away team, Southampton will be the happier. I think the Villa fans are restless. I think it's gone on to the Villa players, and I think when you need a goal, that will be it. And the Villa fans would definitely want it from the home team. But Southampton has got a lot of mistakes. Somebody just kicked the ball out of play. Villa Kochev just kicked the ball out of play, and that is a measure of what's happened so far in this game.
A mistake-riddled opening half hour at Villa Park. Rather nervy. Neither side truly playing with any fluency or conviction. Bailey trying to change that coming forward down the Aston Villa right. He's managed to skin his man and cross to the far post where McGinn tries to attack it. Coutinho is there too, keeps it alive with his head. Watkins back to Dean, and now Coutinho, edge of the penalty area, clipped across the face of goal and headed behind for an Aston Villa corner by Armel Bella-Kotchap. First time Southampton have been truly stretched.
Yeah, better ball into the box by Bailey. Villa kept it alive and it ended up with Coutinho, but Coutinho going up for a header that's not going to how Villa are going to score a goal, but this is better.
Coutinho will take the corner from the Aston Villa left-hand side. Mings and Konsa have come forward. Konsa to the near post, Mings just outside the 6-yard box. Coutinho assessing the options, guided in towards the head of Konsa at the near post, deflected on. It's hit first time by Ashley Young, and well hit too. Crossed in again, Konsa still waiting. Coutinho trying to keep it alive, and it's smashed out of play by Moussa Gineppo. Throw into Aston Villa. Luca Dean takes it. John McGinn trying to keep the pressure on. Headed by Bella-Kotchap. Falls rather fortunately for Adam Armstrong to accelerate forward. Jacob Ramsey, though, or Kamara, I should say, is there for Aston Villa. Then Bailey loses possession. He's carried some threat down the right-hand side, Leon Bailey, but he's had some careless moments in possession. And now Elyounoussi is coming forward for Southampton just outside the Villa penalty area. Well challenged, though, by Tyrone Mings, who stuck to his task and forced Elyounoussi down a blind alley. And it is a goal kick to Aston Villa.
Yeah, Southampton just feeding on scraps around the area, but again, Villa get themselves in good positions, but the ball into the box has been easily dealt with by the two centre-backs, Lisu and Bella-Kotchap of Southampton, so just clever in the way that they get the ball in front of goal.
Villa 0, Southampton 0. Coutinho on the ball for Aston Villa. McGinn on the touchline, can't quite keep it in, under pressure from Gineppo, and the ball rolls out of play right under the nose of Stephen Gerrard. He just scratches his head momentarily, but Villa have won it back with Mings. Hoist it forward towards Watkins, well dealt with by Bella-Kotchap. Down the right hand side by Walker-Peters. Mings is first to the ball. Dean manages to stab it on. Ramsey now edge of the centre circle, has to go back to Ashley Young just outside of his own penalty area, and he turns and goes back to Emi Martinez. Long clearance down the centre of the field. Watkins with an accurate header into the path of John McGinn. Now out to Coutinho, seeing more and more of the ball on the Aston Villa left. Cutting inside this time, then skipping away from Ward-Prowse very skillfully. Hits it first time on the run, and it's only just over Gavin Bazzuno's crossbar, and that is the kind of game-changing moment that makes the selection of Philippe Coutinho an absolute must for Villa when he's in form.
Yeah, he hasn't found that much space this evening, but he managed to roll away from James Ward-Prowse and let fly with a shot that was always rising, but again, at least that gets the crowd going, just increasing the intensity out. They've got technical players playing, Villa, but they're playing as if they've got a big number 9, the longer balls forward, and you know they need to think about the way that they build up play, and because they're so narrow, there's not that much space to play. Yeah,
Watkins is good in the air, but he's giving away inches to both Bella-Kotchap and Salisu. He's been outnumbered 2-1 in those aerial duels. They've gone forward long again here. Konsa out towards the right hand side, and Bailey this time. He's jumping with Perrault, but it's a fight ball, and Aston Villa okay. They've won possession this time. Diallo has pulled Ramsey to the ground, so Aston Villa have a free kick. But they're 50-50 encounters, probably the odds against Watkins when he goes up for the ball down the centre. It's not really building attack.
No, it's not. You want to play the ball down the sides of the two centre-backs, get them facing their own goal, but at the moment everything's in front of Southampton, so for a back four, that's pretty easy compared to if you've got to turn your back and chase and, you know, 1-2 balls in behind for Watkins and the likes of Coutinho.
Free kick to Aston Villa, 10 paces inside the Southampton half of the field on the Aston Villa right. Ashley Young is going to take it. Mings has come forward into the Southampton penalty area. It's aimed towards the head of Tyrone Mings. It's one in the air by Shea Adams. Diallo manages to clear his lines from the edge of his own penalty area, and Young has to scamper back and play it back to Konsa as the last man on the edge of the centre circle. Square to McGinn, back to Konsa, and now Southampton have managed to get out, and they force Konsa all the way back to Martinez in a promising situation. Again is diluted and fades away for Aston Villa. Martinez hoisted long towards Bailey, headed by Perro though this time. Adam Armstrong controls the ball just inside his own half left-hand touchline. Perro hopefully forward. Konsa deals with this and then miscues the ball forward. Ramsey manages to get to it. He wasn't looking for McGinn. He was looking for McGinn, but he found Coutinho instead. McGinn hooks it forward for Watkins to chase, but again, not two Ollie Watkins. One in front of him for him to chase. Coutinho with a strong challenge on Walker-Peters manages to win the ball and win a throw-in for Aston Villa. Level with the edge of the penalty area on the left-hand side. Coutinho stabbed back to Dean, trying to dig it out from under his feet in order to get in the cross. Gineppo is with him. The cross is deflected behind, and Aston Villa will have a corner kick on the left-hand side.
Yeah, Luca Dean's not been in that position right up the pitch as much as he should be. That's where he's got the quality. He's just a little bit tentative to jump forward and be right on the edge of that full-back position, but did well there and got his team a corner.
Aston Villa corner on their left-hand side. Konsa and Mings arriving late in the penalty area. Coutinho standing over the ball. Konsa has taken up that station again on the near post. It's longer this time, and it's headed away by Bella Kocha as far as Leon Bailey on the edge of the penalty area. Couldn't quite control it. Kamara's won it back for Aston Villa, but is forced back. Ashley Young trying to keep the attack alive with a very alert pass out to Coutinho. Gets the chest control it deserves. Now Coutinho crosses in. Header away is a good one though by Salisu. And as far as Ashley Young. On the board it's Bailey. Back out to the left-hand side. Vacated now by Coutinho and finds Dean. McGinn trying to chuck forward onto his unfavoured right foot. Hooked into the penalty area. Perro heads away. And Adam Armstrong can bring the ball away for Southampton. They've seen off another little spell of Aston Villa pressure without any really serious threat. Let's get a look at that Super League semi-final, Wigan Warriors versus Leeds Rhinos, and Mark Wilson.
Yeah, half an hour gone here, Clive. It's still Wigan for the Rhinos. Still that early try for Marshall, flying finish. Harry Smith missed the conversion. He missed a pretty easy shot at goal. It has been all Wigan, but they've yet to add to the league. 9 to go to the break. It's Wigan 4, Leeds 0.
Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 0 is live at this moment on TalkSport 2. The other Premier League game being played this evening. Arsenal hold a 1-0 lead over Brighton in the WSL at Boreham Wood. McGinn coming forward for Aston Villa. Well seen though by Salisu. A little bit of Aston Villa pressure growing. Not of any great consequences yet, but the last 10 minutes has been played mainly in and around the Southampton penalty area. And Coutinho is back on the ball, this time in the centre of the field. Into the feet of Watkins this time. He can't protect it from Walker-Peters, and Diallo emerges with the ball. And El Yunusi now can accelerate over the halfway line as Southampton try to counter. Good work though by Kamara. That's his job really in the anchor role in midfield, to break up attacks like that, and he's done so very successfully again for Aston Villa. And Young has it on the halfway line, right hand side. A little bit of fancy footwork from Ashley Young. I think he bamboozled himself in the end, and it rolls tamely out of play for a Southampton throw. Yeah,
Coutinho's growing into the game now, becoming more effective, trying to get himself on the ball and, you know, making sure that he increases the tempo. But a ball into Watkins, he didn't really want it into his feet there. He's got to curve his run and trying to get in behind Bella Kochap, because those two centre-backs for Southampton are probably enjoying themselves in terms of the amount of ball into the box that they're just getting that first contact on and defending their own goal.
There's a stoppage in play at the moment because Boubacar Kamara is down. He's not going to receive any treatment. He's managed to hoist himself back to his feet and limps rather gingerly away. And Philippe Coutinho has given added this year, but no place for Coutinho for their 2 friendlier games coming up in France in the next couple of weeks. It's rather a strange squad because Gabriel Jesus is not in it either, and I can't believe he's not good enough. Not the way he's playing. Villa have it again, midway through the Southampton half of the field. High one in towards him again. It might come for Coutinho, heads goalwards. And Bazunu keeps it out at the near post. Coutinho just faced by a bouncing ball, had to improvise a header on the run, couldn't really get any power behind it, managed to get it on target, and Bazunu smuggled it behind for another Aston Villa corner, left-hand side, taken short this time by Coutinho. Gets it back from Luca Dean. Crossed in by Coutinho, Watkins with a header, and that's a better save against the crossbar, and it's turned in! Aston Villa lead, Jacob Ramsey has scored! Bazunu turned the initial header onto the crossbar. On reflection, he might have done a little bit better. He might have got it over that bar, he couldn't. And as it bounced down, Jacob Ramsey was there to seize on it and give Aston Villa the lead with 4 minutes of the first half remaining.
Yeah, that's a brilliant finish by Ramsey, but Bazunu will look at that later on, and I think what happened was that it was a short corner. Coutinho's raising the level of this game and puts a good ball across. Just looking at whether that's going to be offside, but the initial header by Mings was saved by the goalkeeper, and usually the way that he saved it one-handed, it goes over the top, Clive, and it's saved over the top for a corner, but he just put it straight up in the air, and it just allowed Jacob Ramsey, as it came out, to just put it into the top of the net, and that's a mistake really as far as Southampton are concerned.
It is being checked at the moment for offside. It was a strong header by Ollie Watkins, and the question really is, well, there's a touch on its way back to Ramsey off his Southampton head, so I can't see any way that this is going to be disallowed. So let's describe it again. There's a Watkins header which Bazunu tried to push up into the air and pushed against the crossbar. Then it came off the head of Salisu, was fired in off the bar by Ramsey following up from about 5 yards.
Yeah, it's offside, Clive, that they're checking. I think it's coming from the header. I think they were looking at Bailey. Yeah, goal given. We get used to this in the VAR era. We can celebrate goals not once but twice if our team score, and Villa Park certainly celebrated the initial effort from Ramsey. But you know what led up to the corner, Clive, is Coutinho was coming in on the far post. Nobody noticed it, and he gambled that everybody would miss the ball across, and then he got his header on it, got his team a corner, and the goal comes from the corner. And that's the sort of thing that you expect from the leaders in this Villa team, and Coutinho's definitely stepped up the last 15 minutes.
Boubacar Kamara is still receiving some treatment. We talked about this a couple of minutes ago, and he hasn't managed to shake off the injury. I would imagine with half-time so close that Aston Villa will try to get there without changing. Play has restarted without him. He's on the touchline. With been another goal at Boreham Wood in the WSL. Let's hear about that from Ian Abrahams.
8 minutes into the second half, Arsenal 2, Brighton 0. Blackstenius with the goal, 10 yards out, powerful drive past the goalkeeper. Arsenal 2, Brighton 0.
Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0 here at Villa Park, and it doesn't look to me as if Kamara is going to be able to continue. In fact, Douglas Luiz is stripped off and is ready to come on in his place. So Kamara, in his 7th Premier League appearance, it's been curtailed just short of halfway. And Douglas Luiz, who certainly has played in the anchor role for Aston Villa, is in an interesting position. He's into the final year of his contract. Arsenal made more than one offer for him during the summer. He's been linked quite strongly with Liverpool in the last couple of weeks too. He's not been a regular this season. He kind of played in the number 10 role against Manchester City last time out, but he's coming on as a substitute here, and he is going to slot into Kamara's position at the heart of midfield. It's a role he's familiar with, Lucy.
Yeah, it is, but I prefer him a little bit further forward. But obviously, it's like for like in terms of him coming in. But he did so well against City, and he'll have been absolutely raging that he wasn't starting today. So just see how he reacts to that. coming on quite early in the game in the first half and having to slot in and raise his motivation levels, like you say, that he could have gone to Arsenal. The club didn't want him to go because of situations like this.
Throw into Southampton, 15 metres inside their own half of the field. Very important now for Aston Villa that they see this through to half-time and take that advantage into the break. We're just about to find out from the fourth official how long they're going to have to wait to do that. The board is being held up and it's 3 minutes. Coutinho coming forward for Aston Villa, just outside the Southampton penalty area, bundled to the ground just outside the box, but no free kick. Douglas Luiz with a really good pass play with the outside of the foot, and Leon Bailey's on the ball, played across the face of goal. It took a deflection on the way through. I was caught a bit by surprise because it was a right-footed shot from Leon Bailey, not his favoured foot. Didn't carry a lot of power, not sure it was going in, but it's deflected behind for a corner.
Yeah, it's causing problems for Pero on that right-hand side for Villa, but not really got good ball in apart from there, and that was, like you say, with his right foot, but another corner.
And Douglas Luiz is going to come across to take this corner from the left-hand side, and why not? Because he scored 2 goals directly from corners already this season.
The crowd are telling him to shoot. They're not booing him, telling him to shoot.
So Douglas Luiz places the ball very carefully on the quadrant. There's a lot of place to get it past. It's guided in there, and Bazunu had to save it. He cleared the near post. It was curling in, and Gavin Bazunu had to palm it over his own crossbar.
I'll tell you what, the thing is, Bazunu had a lot of bodies in front of him, so he didn't have seen it until the last minute, and I think he just made sure. I think there's a chance that it might have gone over or maybe hit the crossbar, but he had to make sure. Southampton goalkeeper.
The bad news for Southampton, it's another corner, and it's Douglas Luiz again from the left-hand side. In towards the near post this time, hooked away by Gineppo rather anxiously. Armstrong won the ball unfairly, backed into Luca Dina, who went flying over the top of him and landed rather painfully. And now Aston Villa will have a free kick in Philippe Coutinho territory.
Yeah,
about 3 metres outside the penalty area.
Yeah, Armstrong's complaining. It basically made a back for Luca Dean, which meant that Luca Dean just flipped over. But doing it in that area, you don't want to do that where you've already probably gifted Villa the first goal. You don't want to do it again just before half-time.
But these Douglas Luiz, I think I might make a wall. I think I might have a 3-man wall 10 metres from the quadrant to try to stop him. He is volunteering for this free kick too, and why wouldn't he? But Philippe Coutinho shaking his head and said, don't be silly, it's not a corner this is a free kick, and it's absolutely where I would place the ball if you were giving me a free kick. It's 5 paces outside the penalty area, left of centre as he looks at it, right foot of Philippe Coutinho. It's probably the last action of this first half, and a free kick in a very menacing position for Aston Villa. The men is carried by the right foot of Philippe Coutinho. Ward-Prowse is lying down behind the wall just in case he goes low, but I think Coutinho is eyeing a spot in the top corner of Bazuno's net. Silence inside Villa Park. Coutinho sets himself, delivers the free kick. It's not a very good one. Got about 2/3 of the way up the wall. Adams emerges with the ball. I think Coutinho, in his attempt to stop the counter-attack, tripped Adams, and would you believe, instead of a goal, Coutinho's got a yellow card.
Yeah, it was straight into the wall. The expectation, to be fair, he has got better, much better as the half's gone along, but the wall had about 20 people in it, obviously not, but just crowded him out and then got a yellow card.
And that is the last action of the first half. Well, it's half that warmed up slowly, and Aston Villa warmed up very slowly. They were tentative at the start. There was an air of restless frustration inside the stadium, and early instincts were that Southampton might be able to cash in on that, but slowly but surely Aston Villa started to get the ball more and more to Coutinho, more and more on the ground, and started to ask more and more questions of Southampton. And when Watkins' header was pushed onto the crossbar rather tamely by Gavin Bazunu, it was Jacob Ramsey who was first to react and led the ball via the crossbar into the Southampton net. And at half-time on TalkSport, it's Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0. Jacob Ramsey has scored.
Welcome back to Villa Park. There's only been 3 shots in that first half. They all went to Aston Villa. They all fell within about 90 seconds of the break, and it was Jacob Ramsey who got the goal. That means at half-time here, it is Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0. Over on TalkSport 2 exclusively, Forest 1, Fulham 0 going into the second half. The players already back out on the pitch here and ready to start the second half as the referee, the final person out there to go and meet them. And there could be changes on the horizon for Ralph Hasenhüttl Southampton as well as they look to turn things around. It could, if Villa hold on, be a massive 3 points to them after a difficult start to the season for Steven Gerrard. I'll leave you for your second half commentary with your team of Lucy Ward, the former Leeds United forward, and TalkSport's Clive Tildesley.
We're going to see Joe Aribo, which will come as no surprise, but we're going to see 2 Southampton substitutions, and Romain Perraud is coming off to be replaced by 18-year-old Juan Larios, a left back who has joined Southampton from Manchester City, which has been quite a familiar route in the last few months, but this is his debut, and off has gone Ibrahima Diallo in order to make way for a player that Steven Gerrard knows very, very well indeed, Joe Aribo. They had 2.5 years together at Rangers. He was one of Gerrard's outstanding performers at Rangers, Joe Aribo. It was Gerrard who took him to Ibrox on a free transfer from Charlton in 2019. And Aribo is going to play in a more attacking midfield role than Diallo did, that's for sure. We'll just let things settle down. Opening minute of the second half, Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0, ball out of play, and Lucy Ward alongside me.
Yeah, I think in the summer, Southampton took Joe Shields from Man City, who's a recruitment guy, and obviously has really good information about the young City players who he presumed would adapt well to the Premier League, and it's worked out so far with a couple of the players, and Larios is certainly one of those.
Late challenge by Dean on Djenepo, who's down in some pain. It was a rather clumsy challenge by Luca Dean. It's been penalised with a free kick and no more, right in the heart of the Aston Villa half of the field.
It's quite interesting because I think that Southampton just switched to a 4-3-3 just to try and match Villa up and make sure that they're marking in central midfield, because they really didn't get anywhere near them when Villa got into the attacking areas of the pitch.
Ward-Prowse is going to take the free kick. Rather belatedly, Mohamed Salisu has gone forward to the edge of the Aston Villa penalty area to be joined Bella Kocha, but it's dealt with by Tyrone Mings after a fashion hit first time by El Yunusi, cannoned around inside the Aston Villa penalty area. There were 1 or 2 handball appeals as a couple of Villa players made inadvertent blocks, but they have managed to clear the lines and force the ball all the way back to Gavin Bazunu in the Southampton goal. It's actually the 6th successive Premier League game in which Southampton have conceded first. The good news is that they've taken 7 points from the previous 5, and that Aston Villa have actually lost half a dozen Premier League games in which they've scored first since the start of last season. No other team more. Armstrong with a cross into their penalty area away by Konsa, hit by Ward-Prowse and charged down by Douglas Luiz, kept in by Adams. Can't link though with Armstrong. First to the ball is the scorer of the only goal so far, Jacob Ramsey. Good ball up towards Watkins on the halfway line. Bailey feeds off him. Salisu makes a challenge, and the ball has gone out for a throw-in, which has gone Southampton's way.
Yeah, Southampton fans listening, Ward-Prowse is sitting in the base of the central midfield, El Yunusi one side, and Joe Aribo the other, just trying to match up Villa when Villa have got it, and so that means that Armstrong's come out wide left and Djenepo's on the right hand side.
Aribo is on the ball for Southampton, controlling the ball with that left foot of a wand of his, out from Salisu to Armstrong. El Yunusi making a run beyond him, tracked all the way by Ramsey, tracked a little too diligently for the referee's liking, and Southampton have a free kick just in from the touchline and only about 10 paces from the corner flag, and James Ward-Prowse will assess the options inside the penalty area before taking it.
It's a nice little role for Elyounoussi because he can go up and beyond the forward line, and that's what he did then to get that free kick.
Ward-Prowse is going to take it. Larios, who's a rather stocky figure, is offering himself for a short one. But Ward-Prowse is going to deliver this towards the taller men inside the penalty area. Hooked in there, and Mings does very well again. As far as Gineppo, good control from him, edge of the penalty area, but dispossessed by Mings, and Leon Bailey's got a chance to clear his lines. Rolls it down the touchline towards Coutinho. Gineppo makes the challenge, comes off the Southampton player, and Aston Villa have a throw-in midway inside their own half of the field. 4 minutes of the second half gone. We're live on Talk Sport. It's Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0. Coutinho, Young with the throw-in down the touchline towards Bailey, who can't retain possession. Shea Adams has it back, feeds Aribo out of the penalty area. Mings is first to it. Adams with a curling shot, wide of the mark, to cheers of derision for a man who spent 3 years of his career with Birmingham City and didn't manage to score against Aston Villa in any of his previous dozen games against them.
Yeah, Villa have not really got going this half. In the second half, I think Southampton have come out, they've shoved themselves about 10 yards further up the pitch, playing with a higher intensity, matched Villa up, and Villa just need to raise their levels again, and the crowd are trying to do that for them.
Adams did play in half a dozen Second City derby matches against Aston Villa in the blue of Birmingham City. Wasn't on the winning side in any of them. Villa going long and forward towards Watkins, edge of the penalty area, coming together with Bella Kotcha, which is not penalised, and then Walker-Peters tumbles Coutinho, and that's not penalised either. And you can hear the disquiet amongst the Aston Villa fans who felt their team should have had a free kick. Bella Kotcha goes forward, headed on by Aribo. Won by Douglas Luiz on the halfway line in the area. He did well there, and Coutinho's back on the ball. Hooked forward skillfully into the path of Watkins, trying to run Bella Kotcha down the Aston Villa left-hand side. Makes good progress, holds it up down by the dead ball line. Then he's outnumbered as Aribo comes to lend some support, and Aribo has got the skill to dribble his way out of that corner, and Southampton escape. Bella Kotcha with a rather perilous ball, played out to Larios, but his control is good. Left-footed Spanish fullback, Catalan fullback from Barcelona, and he's got away from Bailey rather too easily here. Good run this by Larios. McGinn coming back, wins it back, and Douglas Luiz on the ball can bring Aston Villa forward again. John McGinn passed out to the right-hand side. Leon Bailey has to make some ground in order to receive the ball. Feeds it inside to Coutinho. Salisu trying to lean around him to tackle, but Coutinho holds it up and plays it back to McGinn. Philip Coutinho really starting to enjoy himself in the game now, and the Villa fans enjoying each contribution that he makes. He's so confident in possession. McGinn goes forward to Bailey, rather meandering run infield. Then a pass to Coutinho, on by Douglas Luiz. Mings out to Dean on the left-hand side. There's a bit more fluent from Aston Villa. Douglas Luiz just inside the Southampton half of the field. Forced back by Elyounoussi, and then by Mings back to Martinez again. Contra on the ball for Aston Villa.
Sorry, Clive, this is what they needed. Villa and just giving the ball away, but a little bit of composed possession, just enjoying the ball, passing about, because Southampton just raised the level, and Steven Gerrard, when they kicked the ball out of play there, he just threw his arms in the air, because that's what he wants from his team. Get Southampton moving about and then look for the holes, look for Coutinho in the spaces.
Perhaps the best performance that the Steven Gerrard Aston Villa team have given was against Southampton here last March. They won 4-0. Coutinho was in sparkling form that day. It was one of 3 straight wins that pointed to better times, but they haven't been able to take any giant strides in the 6 months since then, and haven't really cut loose and won convincingly. And whilst 3 points is the first, second and third priority for them tonight, if they could go on and win well, then that would give them that much needed momentum going into the international games.
Yeah, you saw at Manchester City they put in a dogged performance and worked really, really hard, and this is an opportunity for them now to get 3 points and do it very, very clearly.
Adam Armstrong too strong for Ashley Young, winning the ball back for Southampton, who trail Aston Villa by 1-0 with 8 minutes of the second half played here live on Talk Sport. Still Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 0. I beg your pardon? It is Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 1, and Tosin Tosin has equalised for Fulham early in the second half. Adarabayo. It's one of the syllables you don't pronounce. That's the only reason I'm confused. I'm just trying to get it right. Tosin Adarabayo has equalised for Fulham.
Tosin. You were right first time.
He prefers Tosin. Larios has the ball here for Southampton. That game is live on TalkSport 2 as we speak. Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 1. Larios takes the throw to Shea Adams, trying to protect it from Jacob Ramsey. Can't do so. John McGinn gets the foot in too, but Larios has made a very accomplished start. Feeds it in to Aribo. Ward-Prowse all the way back to the halfway line, and we can get the latest score on that WSL game at Meadow Park from Ian Abrahams.
7 to go. Arsenal 4, Brighton 0. Europe's best couldn't stop Beth Mead in the summer, so Brighton's best weren't going to do much tonight. She's now got her second and Arsenal's fourth. Arsenal 4, Brighton 0.
One word answer, Lucy Ward. Arsenal or Chelsea this season?
Ooh, Chelsea. Just.
Oh no, one. Chelsea. You heard it here first. They haven't been kicked a ball yet, but Emma Hayes has been given the title here by.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean, they have the biggest budget just by, I think, from Arsenal, and that makes a difference in terms of attracting the players. And luckily for Chelsea women as well, that the change in ownership didn't affect that, and that was kept in place, which is brilliant for women's football there. But she's freshened the squad up. But I look at Arsenal, I do like Edeval, the manager.
Arsenal have made a champion start this evening, leading Brighton by 4-0 here at Villa Park. In the men's Premier League, Aston Villa lead Southampton by 1-0. Bailey trying to make some progress with a tricky run down the right hand side. It hasn't really happened for Leon Bailey tonight. Adam Armstrong brings it forward for Southampton instead. Young knocks the ball against him, and Aston Villa have a throw in just inside their own half.
I'll tell you what, Larios, who's come on for Southampton, he's only small, but he's, as soon as he's got the ball, powerful getting forward, young lad, absolutely no fear, and he's really started the second half off well.
Guess where he learnt his football? Barcelona. La Masia. It must be the biggest academy and the most talented academy. Well, Ajax, I suppose, might rival that, but he is a product of La Masia, and via Manchester City, via Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, exactly. City after that is a pretty good grounding.
Juan Larios has found his way to Southampton, and he's found his way into the Premier League and has made an imposing start since coming on at half-time. But his team trail Aston Villa by 1-0, and it's their left-back, Luca Dean, going forward down the left-hand side for Villa, looking to take on Walker-Peters just outside the penalty area, but Walker-Peters knows a bit too much for him. One back, though, by Ramsey, and Coutinho's on the ball. A tricky run from him to the edge of the penalty area. Late challenge by Aribo, not punished. To Tony Harrington's bar is pretty low this evening. He's letting the game go. On by Bailey to the edge of the box. McGinn goes down. Salisu comes in with the challenge, points to the ball. The referee says, yeah, I'm happy with that, play on. Then Ward-Prowse rather unusually loses out to Watkins. And then Ramsey gives it away. But it falls for Douglas Luiz. Young, rather bitty start to this second half. 1-0 Aston Villa lead. McGinn, right hand touchline, spooned in towards the head of Watkins, chests it down instead. Can't ride a challenge from Bella Kocha. Southampton have got it back. Gineppo caught late, and very late indeed really, by Jacob Ramsey, and that's going to be a yellow card for him. It's all turned round at the City Ground. It's Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 2. João Palhinha has put Fulham in front. They've scored twice in 3 minutes. That game is live on TalkSport 2. Lucy Ward.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of mistakes in this second half. They're actually making it quite exciting to watch. They just keep giving the ball to each other, but just need a little bit more quality from Southampton in some areas, and Villa get hold of the ball, pass the ball to each other, and get Coutinho in behind Watkins, get him in that space. A little bit of a scrappy start.
Oddly enough, that 4-0 defeat here was Southampton's only defeat in their last 7 games against Villa. They won on 3 of their last 4 visits to this stadium. But they trail tonight. Goal by Jacob Ramsey. Foul by Joe Aribo on John McGinn, has conceded a free kick as this rather checkered start to the second half continues. But another set-piece opportunity for Aston Villa. You know, Tyrone Mings has been very good in the air, certainly inside his own penalty area tonight. He's going forward for this free kick. He's had an interesting start to his season, but when the ball's up at head height, there is nobody quite like him. He's cleared Villa lines time and time again tonight, and now he's carrying an aerial threat inside the Southampton penalty area. Luca Dean is going to take the free kick, which is only about 20 metres outside the penalty area. Dean in the air, in towards the heads. It is the head of Bella Kotchup which clears the lines. Bailey's going to toss it back in to the mixer. He's headed back across the face of goal, down by Mings, hit by Ramsey, almost came for Mings again, and scooped away by Shea Adams. Southampton stopped that without knowing a great deal about it. It was an opportunity for Aston Villa.
Yeah, they just couldn't get rid of it, Southampton. And actually, Mings did well. He actually knocked it down for the strike from Ramsey, but couldn't get his shot away.
Fulham have scored again in Nottingham, by the way. They've scored 3 times in 6 minutes. Harrison Reed has now made it. Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 3. Live on TalkSport 2. Foul by Douglas Luiz here on Mohamed El Yunusi, just inside the Aston Villa half of the field. Concedes a free kick. It is Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0 on TalkSport with Now Sports. With Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action, including this game, live right now for $11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports. Southampton have the ball with Bella Kotchup 15 metres inside his own half of the field.
Yeah, you see, Villa want to get the likes of Coutinho on the ball in space and Bailey, and they need to stretch them wide first, use the fullbacks. The fullbacks have not really stretched the pitch, and that then opens the space up, but it hasn't happened enough as far as Villa are concerned.
El Yunusi has gone down in a heap. I think Ashley Young might just have landed on him as the two of them contested an aerial ball right in front of the two managers on the touchline. Mohamed El Yunusi. I've talked about Joe Aribo's Glasgow connections with Steven Gerrard. El Yunusi scored in an Old Firm game against Gerrard's Rangers 18 months ago. I was there. Aribo played in the match. He had a couple of years in Glasgow, recalled to Southampton last year, and he's been pretty much a regular since, well, last February certainly. Mohamed El Yunusi.
I tell you what, Ashley Young actually left a bit on him. When I say it was cleverly done, I don't mean clever. And El Yunusi does know it as well, and nobody even thought that the ref didn't see anything, but he just led with his leg and just managed to scrape down his ankle.
Well, he's been around the block a few hundred times, Ashley Young. He's 37 now, but keeps himself in shape, can still make a contribution, and he's been called on tonight because of an injury to Matty Cash. And one or two things he won't lack for are nous and know-how, and maybe he showed a little bit of both there in that clash with El Yunusi.
I bet it's not the last we see of that little duel either now.
Young actually takes a throw in down the touchline, which Larios is first to, and Aston Villa edge forward closer to the corner flag. They're about 8 metres away from it now, and Young will prepare to make another throw in. Took his family to Buckingham Palace last weekend when they had a day off. He wanted his children to be a part of this piece of history that we've witnessed in the last week or so. It's almost typical of the gesture of Ashley Young, who isn't necessarily your average footballer. He's conceded a throw in here in the same sort of position, just about 10 metres from the corner flag, which Larios takes down the Southampton touchline. Young has given Adams a little nudge in the back here and heads it out of play, and Southampton now start to edge down the touchline.
Yeah, there's not really been a concerted effort of attack or a string of passes for either team in the final third, which probably will suit Villa because they're 1-0 up, and Southampton, they're playing a little bit better in this second half, but not really anything clear-cut, nothing clinical in front of goal.
A single goal scored 4 minutes before the break by Jacob Ramsey is the difference here at Villa Park. Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0, live on TalkSport. Young involved again with a header forward. Larios contesting the ball with Bailey, wins it momentarily. Ramsey plays it down the touchline for Bailey to chase. Bailey was a bit shaken up in that aerial duel and wasn't really ready for it. It goes all the way through to Bazunu, who exchanges passes in an interesting part of the penalty area with Bella Kotchup, and then clears his lines. Ward-Prowse on by Larios again. Good leap by Konsa this time. Knocked down by Ramsey, knocked forward by Douglas Luiz, kept in by Bailey. Young, and El Yunusi gets his own back, nudges Young to the ground.
I told you.
And then has a little bit of commentary. Leave the commentary to us, if you would.
Yeah.
He saw that coming.
I knew exactly, because he knew that it'd been done then, El Yunusi. There's nothing he could do about it, complained to the referee, so he'd seen Ashley Young on the sideline and just pushed him onto the It's not gravel, is it? But it wouldn't have been very pleasant, AstroTurf.
Emi Buendia is imminent for Aston Villa, who are looking for another free kick. El Yunus is involved again, and he gets the nudge from Bailey, and then he also gets a free kick for his troubles. So let's check on whether Wigan Warriors or Leeds Rhinos are edging closer to Old Trafford with Mark Wilson.
Yeah, huge turnaround here. It's Wigan 4, Leeds 14. 2 tries in the opening 10 minutes of the second half from Jared O'Connor and James Bentley have put Leeds on control. But John Bateman, the Wigan back row, has just been sent off for a shocking high challenge. Wigan have got it all to do. 13 gone second half. It's 12-man Wigan 4, Leeds 14.
Still Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 3 in our other live Premier League game across on TalkSport 2 tomorrow lunchtime with the champions Manchester City at Molineux. 12:30 kickoff. Join us for exclusive live commentary on that. We have another Premier League game on Sunday. That's Arsenal at Brentford, and that is a noon kickoff. That's live commentary here on TalkSport on Sunday from noon. Brentford versus Arsenal. It's the only place you'll hear that game. The only place you'll hear this game tonight. Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0 is here on TalkSport. Aston Villa going all the way back to their goalkeeper via Mings. Martinez plays it out to Konsa. Clipped high forward down the field. Salisu is first to it. Ramsey wins it back momentarily. Then Ward-Prowse heads forward. Douglas Luiz tries to take the weight off the ball. Possession changing hands by the second in midfield. Then Douglas Luiz settles it down and spreads play wide. He's done well since coming on for the injured Kamara. Dean trying to combine with McGinn down that side. And Coutinho with a clever little skip inside. It just didn't quite come off for him. Arrivo sorted that, but Ramsey's won it back. And Coutinho's back on the ball, trying to play Ramsey in. And clearance by Salisu is an anxious one. Good little spell for Aston Villa. John McGinn and Philip Coutinho exchanging passes. About to make 2 changes. Coutinho on the ball, rolls it back to Douglas Luiz. Fed square to Ezri Konsa, and he's tripped by Adam Armstrong. Free kick given to Aston Villa, and here come those changes. Emi Buendia and Leander Dendoncker are coming on. Off will go the goal scorer, Jacob Ramsey, for Dendoncker's debut. He's yet to figure. He's had about a tonsillitis in the last few days, but he has played 5 times for Wolverhampton Wanderers this season, so he shouldn't be short of match practice. And Emi Buendia will replace Leon Bailey. Let's just get a full-time score before we go any further on that WSL game from Ian Abrahams.
It finished Arsenal 4, Brighton 0. Brighton with a player sent off after 6 minutes. We're never really in this. Kim Little on 28 opened the scoring. Floodgates opened in the second half. Blackstenius made it 2-0 before the Beth Mead show as she added 2 of her own, and Arsenal ended with 4. Arsenal 4, Brighton 0.
Approaching the midway point in the second half at Villa Park. Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0. Villa's free kick is taken by Douglas Luiz. Rolled into the feet of Coutinho. On by Konsa. McGinn is on the ball. Square again to Coutinho. On to Ashley Young. Angled ball in towards Mings, who'd gone forward for the original free kick but just couldn't quite connect with Watkins. It's scooped up by Gavin Bazunu, and he can clear his lines.
Yeah, I think Dendoncker now, I would suspect, will sit with it. Just allows Douglas Luiz to go forward one side and John McGinn the other side as well. Buendia's gone on that right hand side to replace Bailey, just trying to increase the intensity of Villa, and it just allows Douglas Luiz to get a little bit further forward, you would think.
Brings a lot of Premier League experience with him. This is his 125th appearance in this league. 4 years at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Bruno Lage has said he didn't want to lose Leander Dendoncker. And 29 caps for Belgium, 27 years of age. He's oven ready. He's ready to come in and play. And now he's over that little bout of illness. Steven Gerrard giving him his chance here at a crucial time for Aston Villa as Larios comes forward for Southampton. His cross is deflected off Douglas Luiz. Martinez has come and made that his own and just about managed to stop his momentum from rolling out the penalty area. Applause for Emi Martinez.
Yeah, Southampton is struggling to connect anything in the final third. A little burst every now and then. Aribo is such a versatile player, but they've not really got him into the game either.
Ball is with Luca Dean. 1-0 Aston Villa lead. Hooked on cleverly by McGinn, but Bella Kotchap managed to get there ahead of Watkins. Forward by Salisu. Aribo is on the ball but taking on too much in midfield. Douglas Luiz, good first time pass. Buendia down the centre towards Watkins, and he just couldn't quite bring it under his spell, and it rather ricocheted off Salisu, and Bazunu was able to come out. But again, Douglas Luiz, his passing has been a feature really for Aston Villa since he came on just before the half-time whistle for the injured Boubacar Kamara. He's not done his reputation any harm at all here tonight, Douglas Luiz.
He played well in the last game. He's come on and he's just passing, he's just calmness on the ball. He's staying central with Dendoncker on the right hand side, but Dendoncker is not natural for him to go forward, so he's sitting a little bit deeper. That just allows Buendia to do his stuff on that right hand side. 21 minutes remaining. We're about to see Stuart Armstrong and Sekou Mara introduced for Southampton, who trail Aston Villa by 1-0. Walker-Peters has the ball. Played back to Bella Kotchap. Long forward for El Yunusi to chase. Conserves let it bounce, and Martinez comes to grab it. It is good, decisive goalkeeping by Emi Martinez. It is Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0. The latest odds on this match are available from Ladbrokes. At the moment, Aston Villa are 5-1 on to win the game. You can back Southampton at 25-1 to win. In the draw is 21-1. Those odds are from Ladbrokes. Play at ladbrokes.com. You must be 18 and do pay a visit to begambleaware.org. Don't just listen to us, look on the side, it'll help you. Now, we've had 70 minutes of play here, and as you may be aware, the Premier League have issued an invitation to supporters at all games this weekend to mark the 70th minute with a round of applause in appreciation of the 70 years of the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. And to a man and woman inside this stadium, that invitation is being taken up heartily and meaningfully. Just listen. Another chorus of the national anthem is ringing round Villa Park. It has been quite a week, and it's going to be an extraordinary weekend. And Monday is going to be something the likes of which even old boys like me have never witnessed in this country. Football has resumed this evening with a respectful tribute to the life of a remarkable woman. Southampton have made those two changes. Mara is on up front for Adams, whose misery against Aston Villa continues. And Aston Villa continue to lead this game by 1-0 on TalkSport with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Now, whenever it's 1-0, Clive, there's always a problem for Villa if they make a mistake or some sort of brilliance from Southampton. So a second goal, I'm sure, would ease any sort of nerves that this Villa Park crowd will have. 3 points between them at the start of the game. Southampton were above Villa in the table. All the attention was on Steven Gerrard and the nature of the fickle beast that is football. As that one goal may turn all the attentions back to Ralph Hasenhüttl. I did mention before the game that in that dreadful list of bookmakers' odds for next Premier League manager to leave us, Steven Gerrard was second to Brendan Rodgers. Who was top of that list in the summer? Yeah, Ralph Hasenhüttl. Free kick taken by Dean in towards the head of Mings. It's run all the way through here for Ashley Young, who can cross back into the penalty area. There's a appeal for a handball against Ward-Prowse, who charged it down. The referee is adamant that it is only a corner to Aston Villa. In front of the giant Holt End, a corner kick on the right hand side, which Ashley Young seems a little reluctant to take. Douglas Luiz is not his side, he does the in-swingers, so I think Young is going to take it. Both Concert and Mings have come forward. Dendoncker now lends a little more aerial threat inside the box. Young's delivery is a good one too, and it's one in the air by Mings, but it falls for Aribo to clear his lines. Douglas Luiz on the edge of the penalty area tries to lay claim to it, won't run for Dendoncker, and it's away down the field by Bella Kotchap. Dean is underneath it. Mings on his way back has reclaimed it, tried to play in
Ollie Watkins, but Bella Kotchap was there again for Southampton, and now Larios can escape. El Yunusi, sliding challenge comes in from Young, got enough of the ball to satisfy the referee. El Yunusi didn't fancy it at all, but it's won back by Stuart Armstrong from Douglas Luiz, who felt he was fouled. Now Coutinho on the ball, but Mara has managed to gain possession, and here comes Walker-Peters forward now for Southampton. Stuart Armstrong plays it back to him on the right hand side, trying to find some crossing space. Again, it's Stuart Armstrong gets it back from James Ward-Prowse. Armstrong now back to Bella Kotchap, who's not in as good a crossing position, so he plays it square to Salisu. Larios offers himself again, has to go back to Salisu on the halfway line, and that attack has lost some of its initiative now.
Yeah, Villa just need to be wary that they don't give any encouragement to Southampton. Southampton have made their subs and they're trying to be more effective going forward, but a little bit loose with the passes. Villa allow Southampton to come onto them.
Good headed clearance by Young. Buendia on the halfway line. Larios got back to him and won the ball. He's been fabulous, the little left back who's come on for Southampton at half time. Juan Larios, just 18 years of age. On the ball now is Bella Kotchap, who's really impressed in the opening weeks of the Premier League season. It is a vibrant young Southampton team that's developing. Stuart Armstrong, less young, forward towards Mara, out to the right hand side, and Walker-Peters making progress. Good little spell this for Southampton, best they've had for a while. Gineppo trying to make headway down the right hand touchline, wins the throw in from Dean about 20 metres from the corner flag on the right hand side. Salisu's coming forward for a long one.
Yes, as soon as they start moving the ball quickly, Southampton, they look something like as an attacking force, but it's not happened enough. But you see, set piece now, Villa have got to defend this long throw, and it has been effective for Southampton.
Salisu will take it. The equaliser at Leicester came from a Salisu long throw last month in that comeback victory for Southampton. They have mounted more than one comeback this season. This is more of a loopy one, but Aribo heads it on and Mara heads it goalwards, but it's a tame effort and an easy catch for Martinez. There's a Villa player down with a head injury inside the penalty area, so the referee stops play. Well, it's all happening at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest 2, Fulham 3. Forest took the lead in that game, held the lead at half time. Fulham scored 3 times in 6 minutes in the early stages of the second half, but O'Brien has pulled one back now for Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest 2, Fulham 3 is live for you on TalkSport 2. We don't want you to go, but I can hardly blame you the way that game's going. And 2 riveting Premier League games, both of them live and exclusive on TalkSport tonight. Here on TalkSport, still Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0, live on TalkSport 2 at this moment. Nottingham Forest 2, Fulham 3. Ball in the hands of Emi Martinez, the Aston Villa goalkeeper. I was talking about Ralph Hasenhüttl there a moment ago. I was looking through the list of Premier League managers. You know, there's only 3 now in this league who've held their current jobs for longer than Ralph Hasenhüttl, and Thomas Frank is one of them, 3rd on that list. And I mean, his first 2-3 seasons were outside the top flights. Be 4 years in December. Only 10 managers in the top 4 divisions can beat Ralph Hasenhüttl's record, and it's 4 years that have straddled a change of ownership too, and certainly a changing of the squad over the summer. 10 in, 5 out, plus a string of loans out of St Mary's. He's overseen a mini revolution there and put his reputation on it. And he's staring defeat in the face here as Dean comes forward for Aston Villa. Watkins, edge of the penalty area. Well, marshalled though by Ward-Prowse. Southampton are certainly still in this game. Mara trying to hold it up, can't do so. Under a lot of pressure, gives it away to Dean. McGinn, forward to Coutinho. I think there have been half a dozen challenges at least tonight, which last season I think would have been punished and penalised. Yeah,
the crowd are sort of getting a little bit restless, and the players are wondering which ones are going to be called for a free kick and which ones not. But you know, I look at Watkins up front. He's getting no change out of those 2 centre backs whatsoever from Southampton. He's had the ball a couple of times and they're straight on him, and his touch has got to be so perfect. Aston Villa have just strung half a dozen passes together very impressively indeed. Coutinho's on the ball for them. Aribo's all over him, and Coutinho can't, or I should say Buendia can't
retain possession on this particular occasion. Another change coming for Southampton. El Yunusi, who's getting a little hot under the collar, is going to be replaced by another bright young thing via Manchester City, Samuel Edozie, who caught the eye in a 20-minute cameo on his debut at Wolverhampton. Southampton paid Manchester City 10 million for him. He's not 20 until January. Winger with a real talent. Certainly Ralph Hasenhüttl is trusting his reputation to these young players here tonight. First Larios sent on, and now Samuel Edozie. Remember him playing for Manchester City, a surprise selection at Wembley in the Community Shield against Leicester City last year, and he played with a lot of confidence then, and he's followed Bazunu and Lavia and Larios from Manchester City to Southampton. Buendia just pushing Larios off the ball as Aston Villa try to break, and Buendia almost played a fabulous pass in to John McGinn on a run, but it was cut out in the nick of time by Bella Kocha. Forward comes Southampton. Aribo bidding himself on the touchline. Buendia did well. Now Coutinho, a little bit of space for him, but not for long. On to Buendia again. Not often we see those two on the field together for Aston Villa. Buendia inside to Douglas Luiz, who does well to hold the ball under some pressure. Coutinho again, absolutely surrounded and eventually overcrowded, and loses the ball, and Aribo breaks forward for Southampton. Still 1-0 to Aston Villa. Really strong run by Sekou Mara, but he eventually took it too far and ran out of options, and Aston Villa won it back. And it's out of play for a throw, and it's all getting a bit stretched and hectic.
Yeah, Aston Villa had a lot of players up the pitch then when Southampton broke, but still managed to defend it well, but cannot keep giving Southampton that sort of encouragement. They want to manage the game the last 10 minutes or so well, because it's not been a game of high quality, but Villa have got themselves in front, and if it is going to be a scrappy game, they have to manage it and see it out.
It's been a scrappy game, but a game we've always felt of consequence, a game that would set the mood for these two teams for a little while. Ward-Prowse bringing down McGinn, and then Gineppo getting involved, and McGinn, who's been running a bit of a fever from minute one, has to be led away by his teammates after threatening to get involved. Gineppo wants to fight with somebody.
I feel for John McGinn, because he's the leader, and he feels the expectation on him that he has to do loads of hard work. He's had a much better second half, but he's determined to make it work as captain. And I think he's really showing a lot of passion.
Yellow card for Ward-Prowse in the middle of all that. But yeah, it's feistier.
Yeah, it is. It's a couple of things, couple of jewels bubbling under, that's for sure.
Feistier than North versus South would be, Todd, I think. Free kick to Aston Villa just inside the Southampton half of the field. 1-0 Aston Villa lead. It's been that way since the 41st minute. Jacob Ramsey with the only goal of the night so far. Douglas Luiz just waiting for the referee to have a word with Gineppo and try and calm him down before delivering it long to the edge of the penalty area where Mings is waiting. It's towards the head of Tyrone Mings, but it's too close to Gavin Bazunu, and he grabs it. Did the Chelsea owner say whether it would be northern-born versus southern-born, or northern-based versus southern?
I don't know, but where do you draw the line? That's what I want to know as well.
Yeah, what do Brummies do? And the North, you know, listen, I'm from Lancashire and Lucy's from Yorkshire. We don't usually talk to each other at all. It's only when we work together that we have any kind of relationship. So I'm going to take that into account. There must be other options. Mings steaming forward, dispossessed by Ward-Prowse. Gineppo is there. Maybe attack versus defence would be. But, I mean, could Erling Haaland score as many goals if there were 6 centre-backs playing against him on the opposition? I think the defenders would kind of quite enjoy a free shot at a team full of attackers at the end of the season. Or UK versus Europe. But Boris could referee. He's doing nothing now, is he?
Probably.
Or what about right-footers versus left-footers?
You've been thinking about this, Clive, I can
tell.
There
are plenty of ideas out there. Son Heung-min could play a half for each team. So the applause here for Philippe Coutinho, who was recalled to the team tonight, and who has probably been the outstanding individual on the field, creatively so anyway. And he eventually makes way for Danny Ings, who's come from the bench, or he's been on the bench the last couple of games. A player who scored 46 goals for tonight's opponents, 3 seasons at Southampton. He was released by them as a boy, his boyhood team. Started his career at Bournemouth and has actually scored on his last 2 visits to Villa Park for Southampton. But he's a good substitute to be bringing on at this moment.
Yeah, he's gone central as well. It means that Ollie Watkins has come out to that right-hand side.
Dean chasing a long ball forward. Bella Kotchup's in control of the situation on the edge of his own penalty area. Got just over 6 minutes left to play. Live on TalkSport, it's Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0. Don't forget that our lunchtime game tomorrow, exclusively live on TalkSport. Join Reshman Chowdhury and the team at 11 a.m. at Molineux for Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Manchester City, live and exclusive on TalkSport from 12:30. Stuart Armstrong coming forward for Southampton with gusto down the left wing and being pursued all the way by Ollie Watkins, who's now playing in a wider position. The throw-in has gone, to everybody's surprise, to Southampton. Larios has come forward to take it. They're far from out of this yet. Trying to combine with Adosi. He's won another throw-in, the Catalan left back, and that means that Mohamed Salisu is going to launch another long one into the Aston Villa penalty area.
Yeah, they've got to just go for it now. Southampton make it about a 5-minute game. There's 5 minutes left, and they could just try and push players forward.
He's taken a short one after that, and it's not a very good one. And Chinepo couldn't keep it in. I have to say I've seen better long throwers than Mohamed Salisu on tonight's evidence.
When he's warming up for it, you think this is going to fly out of his hands, and then he's just splattered to deceive at times.
5 minutes left to play. Tonight's attendance being read out, 40,758. And Aston Villa, thanks to Jacob Ramsey's goal just before half-time, are moving in sight, drawing level with Southampton in mid-table Premier League. It's going to be a big mid-table this season, I think. I think there are 8 or 10 teams of a similar standard in that area. They'll all be looking over their shoulder from time to time during the season, you can be sure of that. Ings is on the ball. Fed into the path of McGinn, accelerating to the edge of the penalty area. Bella Kotchap holds him up, forces him wide. McGinn still in possession. Played back to Buendia just outside the penalty area. On the left-hand side, Dean is in support. Buendia's back on the ball. Fed in very cleverly to Luca Dean. Clipped in towards Watkins, headed away and struck first time by Ashley Young with the outside of his right foot. Big oohs and ahs, but it was always veering and jagging wide of Bazzuno's left-hand post and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Luca Dean, he's not got forward. I don't know what's happened to him. He's not playing anywhere near as good as he has done in terms of an attacking sense. That's the best part of his game, and the times he has got forward, like then, he's put a good cross into the box, but Aston Villa couldn't make the most of it.
The managers need results, not testimonials. I spent a lot of time around Steven Gerrard when he was in charge at Rangers. All I can tell you, all that I know, is that you know when he's in the room, he is a man of some presence. He sets and expects very high standards. He's very demanding of himself and everyone around him. You wouldn't want to let him down. And Aston Villa's results so far this season have been letting him down. And I bet he's been letting the players know about that too. They have a problem with Emi Martinez at the moment, who's down injured inside of his penalty area.
He was his thigh, isn't he?
Yeah, he was a doubt for tonight with illness, but he's now rubbing his thigh, and that doesn't look good. If that's muscular, then he's not going to be able to continue. The player's just taking a water break.
Sorry, Clive, they've just had a problem with injuries, Villa, big injuries, and obviously Camara's gone off tonight, and I'm looking at Martinez, and it's so frustrating for a manager where you think you've got your team going, and can he get over the line tonight and get the 3 points? It's been a scrappy game, but what you don't want is pick up any more injuries.
Just seeing a shot of Gary McAllister preaching a compact Aston Villa for these closing minutes, and whilst we've only got 2 minutes on the watch, these stoppages mean that it's going to be longer than that. Still an opportunity. We can get an update on the Super League semi-final between the Warriors and the Rhinos with Mark Wilson.
Yeah, 5 minutes remaining here, and Leeds look set to be going to an 11th grand final. 18 unanswered points in the second half. Tries from O'Connor and a double for James Bentley, together with John Bateman sending off for Wigan. Mean that Wigan are going to run out of time here. It's Wigan 4, Leeds 20.
Still 1-0 to Aston Villa here at Villa Park. Ings on the ball, out to Watkins, now playing on that right-hand side, shielding the ball from Larios. Comes back to Mings on the halfway line. Aston Villa just trying to manage their lead, trying to keep possession. Rather heavy pass from Douglas Luiz. He hasn't played too many of those this evening. Forces Villa back, and Mings drives one forward rather hopefully. Watkins tries to claim it, goes to ground, but nothing wrong with the challenge in the opinion of the referee. Walker-Peters out to Gineppo, but he can't keep it in play on that Southampton right, and it is a throw into Aston Villa.
Yeah,
midway inside their own half.
Southampton have just let Villa off the hook, and it's just mirrored the start of the game where the crowd were a bit nervy and Villa weren't passing the ball properly. They just need to see the game out. Southampton are huffing and puffing and getting absolutely nowhere at the moment.
It is a young side, and they're going to have good days and bad nights, and I think that's going to be part of sort of, if you like, believing in the future of one or two of these players who've shown themselves, and we've certainly seen plenty of promise from Larios in particular tonight.
They've stayed in the game. That's the thing. They've not played well. Villa have not particularly played well, but they've stayed in the game, and I think this sort of experience for these younger players, each time they have this and they play in the Premier League, they're just going to get better and better. It's so important.
Now, it's a free kick for Southampton, which is inside their own half, and they want to try and get some pressure on Martinez. He's on his feet, but just has some treatment for an injury. It's taken by Bazunu, a high-hanging one. It's found Aribo on the edge of the penalty area, headed away by Dean. There is going to be an added 4 minutes. Dean plays it back to Buendia, and he's almost run into trouble, but he's managed to elude Mara. He's only 10 metres outside of his penalty area. Plays it back to Conser. Martinez certainly doesn't want it if his thigh has gone dead on him. And Aston Villa have used all three of their substitute windows in this second half, so even though they do have Robin Olsen on the bench, they wouldn't be able to replace Martinez if he was unable to continue. Yellow card for Ashley Young for a cynical foul on Adozi as he tries to skip inside him. Another free kick to Southampton, about 20 metres inside the Aston Villa half of the field. It's going to be a rather tense last 3 or 4 minutes here at Villa Park. Aston Villa leading by a Jacob Ramsey goal just before half-time, but under pressure now as James Ward-Prowse prepares to take a free kick for Southampton. Crossed in towards the heads and headed in dangerously, and it took a very important clearance from Tyrone Mings to deny Mara as he came sliding in. The ball was won by a Southampton head. I think it was Bella Kotchap who got up first.
He did brilliant. It's a fantastic free kick, and it headed down by Bella Kotchap. It just needed somebody on the end of it, somebody who couldn't do it, and in the end it had to be.
It was actually Watkins who cleared behind Mings.
Corner.
Another corner though for Southampton. Another opportunity for Southampton. Ward-Prowse, up goes Mings and heads it, more up than out, but he's managed to do enough, and Buendia clears downfield. Goalkeeper had come forward for that, so his goal is empty, and Ings has gone for goal from the halfway line, understandably so. Gavin Bazunu was sprinting back, but Ings just a little off balance, couldn't quite find the target from 45 metres, and it bounces out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it didn't really fall for Ings. He knew that the space was there, it had to be some effort there, left foot, but he just couldn't wrap his foot around it. But that's Southampton had obviously shoved Bazunu up for the corner, but nothing came of it.
Watkins winning the goal kick downfield in the air, but Buendia unable to lay claim to the ball. Gineppo forward to Aribo. Walker-Peters now coming forward. Southampton asking the questions in these closing stages. We've had 2.5 of the added minutes. Headed away by Dean.
Bella Kotchap's stayed up front, centre half, just going to hit the ball long from Ward-Prowse.
Giant figure of Armel Bella Kotchap, now an extra auxiliary forward for Southampton, and they can get the ball into him, but Ward-Prowse plays it to Salisu, and he's had to go back to Gavin Bazunu. Bazunu will go long, and it's towards the head of Bella Kotchap, and he's managed to win it in the air, but Contra is able to let it bounce and then just volley it long down the field. Ward-Prowse tries to head it forward. Aribo tries to keep it in. Under pressure from Luca Dean, but he's on the halfway line. Clever little back heel. And Ward-Prowse on an overlapping run comes forward. McGinn with a sliding challenge knocks it out of play. Southampton throw in though. A little bit of space for Stuart Armstrong. Awkward bounce of the ball, couldn't control it, but he was caught by John McGinn, and that is going to be a free kick to Southampton.
It looked like actually a high foot. John McGinn went to head it and he knocked into, I think it was Ward-Prowse. No, it wasn't, it was Armstrong, but it looked like a high foot to me. I can't believe that the assistant ref didn't help the referee out there. I
can't say that that's a correct decision at all. If the free kick was given there, it should really have gone Aston Villa's way.
I'll tell you what.
Gavin Bazunu has come forward again, and James Ward-Prowse is going to take this free kick, and I know what you're saying. Sometimes those decisions seem inconsequential, but they're big. Ward-Prowse with his free kick. 4 minutes of added time played. Guided in and headed goalwards by Armstrong, but just wide, and that bounces clear, and Emi Martinez punches the air in delight, almost as if that is the final whistle. It still hasn't blown. He's just trying to delay the taking of the goal kick. It was a chance.
Yeah, a big chance, and Steven Gerrard's having kittens in his technical area, thinking that all the work that his team have done, that they don't get over the line just because a free kick that probably shouldn't have been awarded, it ends up in a goal.
Still a minute or so to play of the added time. Aston Villa, just the one Premier League win so far this season here against Everton in mid-August. Since then, beaten at Crystal Palace, beaten here by West Ham, beaten at Arsenal, from behind to draw with Manchester City last time out. 1 point from that run of 4 games. And the ball is down at the Southampton end of the field. Dendoncker heads it out of play. Villa just trying to see it out now. Anxious few seconds, but very, very close to an uplifting victory. Referee blows the final whistle, and Aston Villa win for the first time in a month. Win with a goal from Jacob Ramsey just before half-time. Win despite an anxious final few minutes in which Southampton threw literally everything at them.